Time for the Tetons in Yellowstone right now. Welcome back to my channel. If you haven't already, please consider subscribing. Also, follow me on Instagram and Facebook. So I'm kind of skipping my day 3 of the vacation because day 3 was dedicated to driving across Wyoming, and I'll flow in a little bit of footage that I shot. But Wyoming's a beautiful state. It has some diverse country where there's big mountains and there's some flatlands and there's some grasslands, a lot to it, but I didn't figure it was really exciting enough for a video of watching us drive for 8.5, 9 hours. But what was neat is as you come up the west side of Wyoming and you come up the Wind River, it is really pretty rocks and really pretty area and kind of carved rocks there right on the base of the Rocky Mountain front. So drive up in there, you go over the first huge pass, and when you tip over the other side is the Teton. So that was the best part of that day that we're not doing a video on. But today we will do a full day here, but today is all about the Tetons in Yellowstone. So we woke up after we had gotten to Jackson Hole. We stayed the night, we woke up, took off, we went and had some breakfast, and we were off up the highway towards Yellowstone to get some shots of the Tetons. So Tetons that morning, it was kind of rainy and we didn't get the photography that I had hoped for. We were hoping for a good clear day, or maybe we get lucky and get some rain and clear everything out, but it just wasn't happening for us. We got some cool photos and everybody had fun. Wasn't perfect, which is fine. We take off, we head up to Yellowstone, we go up the highway. I'll tell you one thing about Yellowstone in the middle of the summer is it is busy, and it's been busy. It's growing year over year, the number of visitors. And the other side to it is that the park is closed down in the winter time. So in the summer, not only is that when all the visitors need to come, but it's also when all the construction needs to happen. So we hit some construction between Teton National Park and Yellowstone National Park. And it slowed us down. We probably ate up a good hour of our day kind of sitting in traffic there. That said, you know, didn't dampen our spirits. We got into the park, beautiful drive up, and our first stop, we were headed for Old Faithful. I've been in the park 3 times before. Everybody, and my wife has been in there once before. Everybody else was their first time that was in the car. So, you know, it's pretty cool. Be able to go see Old Faithful. Old Faithful is one of those things, and I will warn you ahead of time, it is really neat. It's something I think everybody should see, but it's also something that it gets built up to be more than it is, I think, in your mind a little bit. You know, you sit there, it's on cue. It's about every hour and 20 minutes, I think, that it blows, and it shoots water up 100 feet or so, 160 feet. I don't remember what exactly it is, but shoots the water up. But it's such a big area, it doesn't look monstrous, to be honest, but it's really cool. I don't want to dampen, you know, the excitement. If you haven't seen it before, you should go because it is really, really neat. So we do Yellowstone. We stop at a few places where there's some pools, some thermal pools, and a few little geysers, and we work our way around the west side of the park. Go up. We were going to stop at Geyser Basin where Steamboat is, but it was just crazy. It's just, there was cars parked a mile from the entrance to the pathway down to Steamboat. So we skipped that. Unless Steamboat's going off, I didn't really need to walk down in there again, and nobody else was super excited about hiking it. So. And it wasn't going off. So we skipped that, and we head across the park and we go over to the Grand Canyon of Yellowstone, which in my opinion is the single best thing in Yellowstone Park. It is beautiful. We were on a higher water day, so water flowing over it was great. It was just great. So there's 3 different, or actually technically 2 different spots that you can go into to see the Grand Canyon. The first is on the kind of a little bit farther south. You can cross over the Yellowstone River and you drive up, and you drive up and there's a big parking lot, and you can walk out to this vista point where you look back up the canyon and you see the waterfalls. And there's 2 waterfalls. There's an upper and a lower. The lower is the bigger one, and you can see the lower waterfalls, and I'll flow over some photos here so you can see what that looks like. But it's just a beautiful shot for a family picture or just photography in general. So that part, definitely 100%, if you're going to Yellowstone, do not miss that specific spot. It is worth the trip by itself. The second spot is if you go back out to the main highway and go north about a mile, half a mile probably, you'll see it's very obvious. You can actually walk down right above the falls. So you can walk down and there's a viewpoint right above the upper falls, which the upper falls is smaller, but it's really neat, and the vista point's really close there. And then there's a vista point for the lower falls, and you actually look down the canyon. It's beautiful too. You should really stop there. We didn't. We drove through there and it was just crazy. I would stop there if you get the chance and you're going to Yellowstone. Find yourself a parking spot and stop there. Well worth it. So we take off out of there. I have a rant video that I'm going to annotate right up here right now about people and wildlife. I'm not going to get into that, but what I am going to say is that wildlife was awesome. We saw some elk, there was some bear, lots of buffalo, just a lot going on, a lot of good wildlife that's close. The wildlife has kind of gotten used to people, and I don't want to say it in that way, but they don't, a bear doesn't usually sit 100 foot off of a road and let people sit there and take pictures of them. So they kind of have gotten used to it, and I fear that people feel comfortable with that, and they shouldn't. Anyways, all that aside, really neat scenery, a lot of fun. We went back out of the park out to West Yellowstone. We were going to stay the night there, but we got out early enough. It was beautiful, and we decided we were just going to wrap up our vacation that day and head home and spend a couple days at home here in Missoula and do some more stuff locally here. So that was it. Those are the 3 days that I'm really going to talk about of the summer vacation, and that's it. So if you like this, please subscribe. I got a lot more outdoor Montana, Wyoming, Idaho sort of content coming up. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time.